For Clemson and Georgia has been announced. And fans across the world of college football are like, what time is it again? You by the kickoff time, you would think that Akron and UMass were getting together for one of their good old-fashioned rivalries. You know? It's that bad. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I am Brian. I'm glad you're here. Hope you'll subscribe. It's free. It's a great way to support the channel. Diving right in. So yesterday I was off, took some time away, and I'm back. So I know this was announced yesterday, but the kickoff for Clemson versus Georgia in Atlanta is 12 p.m. on ABC. Yes, 12 p.m. 12 p.m. And this is ridiculous, considering the ESPN and Game Day. Are they going to be in Atlanta, the neutral site, yet, you know, what, it's in 45 minutes to an hour from the University of Georgia? So Georgia's going to make that place, it's a home game for Georgia. We know that. It's like a home game AB site. A is Athens, B is Atlanta. But will ESPN be at this game? No. They're going to be at Texas A&M and Notre Dame. That game. Do you want to know the difference between Clemson, South Carolina, the distance between Clemson, South Carolina and Athens, Georgia? I'll pull it up for you. 75 miles. 75 miles from Clemson University, from Clemson, South Carolina to Athens, Georgia. You want to know the distance between Texas A&M and Notre Dame? 1,123 miles. Texas and Notre Dame play every now and again. Now, you could say to me, hey, Georgia and Clemson doesn't play near as much as we'd like for them to play. Once again, I agree. I agree with you. But Clemson and Georgia, even with that said, has a history. We recruit a lot of the same players. Once again, there's only 75 miles between Clemson and Athens. And then you have a 12 o'clock kickoff. Let me tell you what's on slate for that Saturday. This is week 1. Now, remember, there's week 0, the week before. That's the 24th. Florida State and Georgia Tech, they're going to play in Dublin. Other than that, it's just, you know, a bunch of nobodies versus nobodies, which I will probably watch because I love college football. I love Clemson football, but I love college football. But on week 1 kicks off on Thursday night. I'm not going to go through that. I'm not going to go through Friday night. But Clemson versus Georgia they are the two, at this point, the two highest ranked teams that will play one another. Next up would be Notre Dame and Texas A&M. That's playing at 7:30 that night. Pretty sure that's I don't know where, is that a neutral site game? I need to look it up. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Miami at Florida. Miami at Florida on paper sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah, all of us people who remembers when, you know, Florida was really good, Miami was really good. You'd be sitting there going, well, Brian, of course, Miami and Florida, they're playing at 3:30 because they're Miami and Florida. We don't even know if Florida's head coach will be the head coach of the team after Game 6. That's how tough their schedule is, unfortunately for him. And Miami, well, Miami's been, Miami-ing for a long time, and they get a 3:30 kickoff. Now, the only good thing that I can say about an early kickoff is that I won't be up at midnight Saturday night, Sunday morning, right? That's the only good thing about it. I will get to watch the game at 12 o'clock. But this is a complete, in fact, I'm going to copy this FBS schedules link, and I'm going to drop it in the chat section. I'm dropping it in the chat section. You can go check it out for yourself. But this is a total disrespect to this game. And in my opinion, this is why, and Ted Jackson, I just saw your comment. I just pulled up the comment section. Ted said this. There's a few other comments in here, but I'll say hello in just a second. I think it's because everyone is expecting a blowout. Clemson hasn't had much of an offense in years, so they are not respected anymore. Still, I wouldn't have thought it would be a noon game. I agree with you. 3:30? 3:30? A lot of Clemson fans would be like, okay, all right. It has not time game written all over it. Dwayne Wicker, good morning to you, sir. Keith, that's going to be brutal heat. The game will be inside at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Start of the season, I'll watch anybody. Yes, I will watch anybody. What's up, Parker Henderson? But folks, I'm not going to go into into some rant, okay, about Clemson football and this, that, and the other. But I will say that this is what I have warned about. This is what I've warned about when it comes to. By the way, that Notre Dame and Texas A&M game, it will be at Kyle Field at Texas A&M. Mike Elko will be playing against his old quarterback. Riley Leonard. That'll be beautiful. I'm noodling catfish every Saturday. That's really so stupid. That's a friend of mine. Eric, you're crazy. Hey, Eric is the one that made this. Every one of you need to tell him that, name a price and see if he'll make it for you. Dwayne, I agree the game should be primetime. Okay, so here's what I want to just kind of go ahead and get off my chest. Clemson fans, this is what I've warned about with the decline of Clemson football. Other than the defense. This is what I've talked about. It's a slow decline. It's not like you wake up one day and the team is, has the ability of New Mexico. Man, this coffee is not working. Let me take. This is the result of the slow decline, and people believes that Georgia is going to manhandle Clemson. That's what this says. Georgia is upset about last season, and we can talk about the dynamics of the Florida State players sitting out versus a lot of Georgia players didn't sit out. They could have sat out too. They didn't. And winning that game by, 60 points? Kirby Smart was sending a message. Next year, the playoff triples in size. From 4 to 12. You're not going to be able to do this to us next year. You're not going to be able to punish us for losing one game by 3 points, and that would have been our 30th victory, and we lost Alabama in the SEC championship after 2 consecutive national championships. You can't do that to us. You can't do that to us next year. And he is what I believe on a revenge tour. And spoiler alert, I believe his revenge tour is probably going to be successful. The media is already disrespecting Clemson because they see the decline of our Tigers. They do. They look at the offensive line, they say, great, Matt Luke was hired. Matt Luke was hired too late. When it comes to the 2024 season. What do I mean by that? Had Matt Luke been hired 3 years ago, which I know he was at Georgia, but I'm just saying let's just play the game. Somebody like Matt Luke was hired initially instead of Thomas Austin. No offense, Thomas. I just think that the gig was too big for you. Too much, too fast. Too soon. You needed more time to grow as a coach, and it didn't help you. Do you really think that the offensive line would be in this bad of shape if we had a Matt Luke-like character initially hired after Robbie Caldwell? History and logic, football logic, says most likely not. What would that have done to Cade and his development? Given him more time to throw the football? Wide receivers, maybe they would be able to complete their routes. What happens if we had a better wide receivers coach? We could keep doing this, and I'm not going to go down that road. But this is the end result. Clemson and Georgia's a 12 o'clock kickoff? What are they thinking? They're thinking that Georgia is going to break their foot off in Clemson's butt. That's what they're thinking. Wasn't there a line that opened up on the game already? We're 3.5 months away from the kickoff. It's getting closer. It's getting closer and closer and closer. 3.5 months. Listen to me. 12.5 point favorite for Georgia already. Already. This is what I'm talking about when y'all all get mad at me and you're like, Brian, you're just too negative and you need to be hopeful and you need to be. The rest of college football is seeing what's going on. It's not the transfer portal. It is that Clemson has been doing this for a while now. You can only waste a 5-star and a 4-star and a 4-star quarterback back to back. DJ, Cade, and now Christopher Vizina's looking bad. He's not looking good. Let's just put it that. He's not looking as good as they'd like for him to be. You can only do all of that so much or for so long. Their last 3 bowl games, the Cheez-It Bowl. The next game, they got manhandled by Tennessee in the Orange Bowl. They gave up 35 points to Kentucky. Kentucky could barely move the ball until they decided to. For a Gator Bowl win. Us Clemson fans need to accept that the perception of Clemson is not good, and other than the defense, it has been earned. And this 12 noon kickoff proves every small or massive 45-minute rant I have went on, trying to warn everybody, guys. You need to realize that this is going to happen. This is going to happen. There we go. Thomas Honeycutt. Why is this not a primetime game? I have no clue. Well, other than that reason. How does Jerkins feel about this noon game? I think he went up and shot up his truck. That's what I heard. Parker Henderson is a member. You see that little circle there beside his name? That means he's a member. Thank you for supporting the channel, Parker. Parker Henderson is supporting the channel, $3 or $5 per month. There's 2 different tiers. Hey, folks, listen to me. You will pay for these subscription services. He will tell you stuff just to tickle your ears, and then guess what? Your team goes out and plays bad. And then what I told you 6 months earlier, most of the time, lands. If you want to support a channel that doesn't have someone telling them or a media outlet, which I'm not a media outlet, I'm a guy on YouTube in his bonus room. But if you want to support somebody that's just going to come in here, give you my opinion, which, by the way, is the same thing they're doing most of the time. But I'm going to tell you what I truly believe is the truth, and a lot of times it's had to shake out. Most of the time I wish I was wrong. This is the channel. $3 or $5, Parker said, man, I don't even see. I don't even see it. Here we go. I don't even see it coming out of the bank account. Thanks, Parker, for supporting the channel. Chase, I don't mind it being noon. Better than waiting all day. I get it. That is one thing. Dean Wilson said they're counting their chickens before they hatch. Roy Bus will be rocking. I hope so. Pearman is going to play. I hope so. I hope he gets a shot. Carolina Jack. Clemson is 3 points better than Kentucky. Sorry you don't get prime time. I mean, I don't know why Notre Dame and Texas A&M is going to get prime time. That doesn't make sense. Good to see you, Carolina Jackpot. It doesn't make sense why they're going to get prime time. It doesn't make sense. I think we leveled off midseason last year. We're pointing up now. David Wood, I hope you're right. Oh, my old buddy. Eric Boggs over at the Ohio Podcast, kicking off at noon, could give the Tigers an advantage in this game, catch the Bulldogs sleeping early, jump out of the lead, and hold on for dear life. You know, I have Clemson fans telling me the same thing. Eric Boggs. And by the way, folks, that's a great segue into this. I'm part of the College Huddle. Eric Boggs and his team over there invited me to represent Clemson. I know that was represent Clemson on YouTube and be part of the College Huddle. So check out the College Huddle. Google it, the College Huddle, and you will find them, and you will find a bunch of people who's representing. They're like me. There's no strings attached to these people. They can say what they want to, and they don't have someone going, hey, listen, we're going to lose a sponsor if you tell the truth about the offensive line. Well, it's the truth about the offensive line, and most likely we're going to lose some games because don't do that, man. Have some hope. And then you lose, and then everybody's shot. Eric doesn't do that. We don't do that. So go check them out. Say hello to them. I think Dabo sees Pierman as the next Hunter Renfro, if we're lucky. UFC fans shouldn't even be speaking football. That's hilarious. That is funny. That's funny. Yeah. Oh, man. Chris Stevens have about as much money as good. Their fan base is extreme. So still have an evening slot. I punch on the Buckeyes O-line like Woody punches Clemson players. Fantastic. And Eric, that is the best comment to end on. Folks, hey, look, I'm telling you, you can only digress, regress, whatever you want to say. You can only go backwards for so long before the media starts making you pay for it. Georgia Clemson has prime time written all over it. But the reason why this game is at 12 o'clock is because the media and the powers at be sees Clemson getting their butt handed to them. That's it. Folks, hope you'll subscribe. Hope you'll pass this along. I want to know what you think. Leave your comments below. As always, it's good to be a Tiger. Go Tigers.